Hi Libra, welcome to Carol's Universe, tarot readings from the heart. I'm sitting on my bed at the moment because downstairs is completely kind of taken over by my niece on her game. She's 14 and she likes fighting games and video games and that type of thing, which I loathe. And I can't record in peace, and the rest of the family's sort of doing their own thing and everybody's kind of happy, but obviously to do tarot readings, Carol needs some space. Anyway, yeah, I'm being rather silly. I'm quite jovial tonight, actually. I'm in a really, really good mood, and I hope that your reading turns out really nice as well. I've done a few already for Aries, I think Gemini I did, and Leo. Let's see what comes out for Libra for 2016. This is your year ahead 2016 reading, Libra. Okay, just to let you know how I do the cards, how I do the readings. I use two decks. Okay, so I use and they're both miniature decks because I'm working from a relatively small space. I have the smallest house in the room, would you believe? House in the room, room in the house. I have the smallest room in the house, so I have limited space to work from. So I decided to get myself some miniature tarot so that I would be able to work easier. I'm using the Rider-Waite miniature deck, and what I do with these, they're this small, but hopefully you should be able to see the cards anyway. What I do is, with the yearly readings, I do them in chunks. So I'll tackle January through to March first, then April through to June, then July through to September, then October through to December. For each of those quarters, I will use 6 cards to represent what I feel might be coming up for you guys during the year, during those 3-month periods, okay? So it's 2 cards for January, 2 cards for February, 2 cards for March, so on and so on. What I don't do, though, is say in January I reckon this, in February I think this will happen, in March. I use all 6 cards as a collective because I understand how the tarot works. It kind of can shift energies here and there. Things can happen a little bit topsy-turvy, that type of thing. So I like to kind of mix up or sort of combine, consolidate, blend what I feel is going to happen in each 3-month quarter. What I then do, for each 3 months, I choose an advice card from my second set of cards, which is still the Rider-Waite, but it's called the Universal Waite deck of cards. And this is the Pocket Tarot deck. Small cards again. And I'll shuffle and see what the universe has as your advice. What advice can it give you for that particular set of months, okay? At the end of the reading, I'll then use my Doreen Virtue and Radley Valentine, the wonderful, wonderful Doreen Virtue, who I attribute a lot of my healing to. She's a wonderful, wonderful woman, and how she connects with the angels is just incredible, and I love her very much. And also Radley Valentine, the artwork on these cards is incredible. I'll shuffle a card from this deck. I'll ask for advice from the angels and see what advice they have for you for the coming year, okay? Just one card to represent the whole year, all right? So these are readings that you can come back to time and time again and get some clarity on through the year and that type of thing, all right? So let's hone in. Also, to let you know, if you'd like a general, if you'd like a personal reading with me, just go to my website. All of the details are below. So we're just going to hone in for Libra. Universe, Spirit, Angels, Lord, please show me what is coming in for the zodiac sign of Libra for the year 2016. What I need you to show me is the energies for January through to March. I need April through to June, July through to September, and October through to December. I'll say that again to you, Universe, Spirit, Angels, Guides, whoever is guiding me with these cards. I need you to show me the Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. What is coming up in January through to March 2016, April through to June 2016, July through to September 2016, and also October through to December 2016. Show me the events, the energies, the people that will be surrounding Libra during these months. Show me anything you can find in terms of their love life, in terms of their career, their home life. Show me the energies coming in for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Show me Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising. Show me Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising for the year 2016. What do you see coming in for these guys? Show me Libra 2016. Libra 2016. What is coming in for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising signs in 2016? Show me. Okay. Shuffled the cards, guys. And I'm going to now separate the deck into 3. And I'm going to collect them back up. What we're going to do is we're going to lay down our first 6 cards. Okay. And now we're going to shuffle the universal weight. Universe, Spirit, Lord, Angel, show me the advice that you have for Libra during January through to March 2016. Show me the advice you have for Libra. What advice do you have for Libra, or can show me the overall energy for those 3 months? What are you trying to say to Libra? Show me 1 card, please, from this tarot deck, Universal Weight. What you have for Libra. What's the advice during January through to March 2016? Show me. Okay. Here we go. Let's turn your cards over. Okay, Libra. So what I'm seeing here is there is going to be some worry, I feel, between January and March over money. All right, or it could be a job, for example, because we do have the 9 of Swords and also the 10 of Pentacles. The lady on the 9 of Swords, Libra, and you are an air sign, so this is you guys, okay, is worrying, and she's facing that 10 of Pentacles. This could be to do with something either to do with the job, because 10 of Pentacles doesn't always reference a family environment. 10 of Pentacles, in essence, in its traditional meaning, is a card about family wealth. So it's sharing resources. It's it can be a card of marriage. It can be a card of inheritances. It can be a card of financial windfall. But it's great wealth. Not always great wealth, but it can be just that you're okay financially. Okay? So I feel that there is some worry over cash. There is some worry over, it could be over a family inheritance, for example, that there is some worry over that. It can be over security, because the 10 of Pentacles is often a card about security, financial abundance. So I feel that you're going to be worrying for some reason over some form of financial security here, okay? Or just the general security of your family's finances, I feel here. And I feel that it might be to do with career or job, because I can see that your overall advice is the 2 of Wands, okay? Which I'll speak about that advice card in a moment, all right? Could be over some money that's owed to you or due to you, because sometimes when I look at the word inheritance, it's what's come down the family line. It's what's due to you. It's what you're going to get. It's money that's coming in. So it could be over money that's coming in, money that's due to you, for example. I'm feeling here with that worry. This is going to take a lot of thinking about, because I can see again we have another money card here. So I feel that money will be a very strong thought process, a predominant factor for some of you guys between January and March 2016, because we do have the 7 of Pentacles. But before that, we've got the Hermit. The Hermit can reference an older person, like somebody within your family. And because we've got that 10 of Pentacles, 10 of Pentacles can sometimes reference grandparents, parents, generations of people living within the same home. And we do have a Hermit card here, an older person. So perhaps you're worried over a family inheritance or something that's due to you within the family between those 3 months, okay? And perhaps it has something to do with this Hermit, this older person. I'm also getting that this is, because we've got the Hermit, and the Hermit is a thinking card, okay? This is someone who's trying to, who goes inward. It's a solitary figure who goes inward and who is really trying to kind of find something out or decipher something or even solve a problem. And we do see the Seven of Pentacles here. Again, it's a crossroads card, okay? It's where you're trying to find a solution to an issue, okay? Because this guy has 6 Pentacles, 7 Pentacles, okay? There is money left over here. So he's built something with those 6 Pentacles, but he's wondering where he should put the rest of his money. Should he invest it in what he already knows, or should he put it into another direction? So it doesn't necessarily even have to be that there is a shortage of money. It might just be that there might be some family altercations about money, potentially. Maybe you're shouldering a lot of responsibility financially wise during those 3 months. Okay, and you're wondering where you should be directing this cash. Maybe an inheritance comes to some of you guys, and you're worried about where to direct this cash. I don't see much altercation here. I don't see much fighting here, though, in these cards. I just don't see it, which suggests that this is something that you need to sort out for yourself. This is something that comes to you, I feel, within these cards, and you need to kind of work out where you're going to, or how you're going to distribute this cash, potentially, that comes to you. I don't know anybody that's sad about receiving money, though. I don't know anybody that's sad about that. But there is definitely a decision that needs to be made over money. I'm seeing here within the cards. I also feel that potentially, you know, if it is a case of that you're worried about money or how to make ends meet, which I do feel potentially could be the case, and also that Seven of Pentacles is money that is due to you a lot of the time. So it's money that you've already invested and you're waiting for the crops to harvest. Okay, so perhaps you've put your money into something and you're waiting for something to come through. But we do see that something is delivered to you, because we have the Four of Cups here. So there is a proposal made there to you, okay? And I feel that it really leads to a change, because we have death, okay? Which is transformation. It could be in reference to maybe, you know, and this is only if it's happening now, okay? Because I don't really like to use the word death, the ending of life in my readings. It's not really what I'm about. I don't really like to use that. But with that Hermit card here and the Death card, and then we're looking at worrying over the Ten of Pentacles, it could be something to do with an inheritance that's due to you. Maybe somebody's passed on and you're waiting for some money to come through here. Okay, maybe you don't even notice when this money comes through, because with this Four of Pentacles is when somebody doesn't recognise something that's coming to them, or something that's around them. They're too focused on something that's already in existence. For some of you guys, it could, I mean, I feel that this is heavily work related for some reason. I really do feel that in a way. As I've mentioned, there is worry over cash. There is a decision to make. There is waiting for something to come in here, okay? The Hermit can also reference a lawyer as well. So I do feel that for some of you guys, it will be family cash that's being waited on. Maybe you're waiting for probate or something like that. For some of you guys, it will literally be maybe a work situation happening here, and you're waiting for some money to come in, or you're waiting for a job offer. I feel that if that's the case, something will be offered to you, but you won't know whether to take it. All right? You won't know whether to take it, or you won't want to take it. There won't be a level of interest there. But it does show that a waiting time is over, because we do have death, which is transformation. So it's ending off the old, it's into the new. We also have the Two of Wands as your overall advice card. So this is the card of moving forward. It's the card of building on your skills. It's a card of setting out and exploring a new avenue. So for some of you guys, I feel that you'll be taking a direction in January through to March. This is either a new job that's coming in, because the wands often represent or reference career, creativity, new jobs, new endeavours. It's not the Ace of Wands though. It is actually the Two of Wands there. So I feel that the Two of Wands sometimes represents a continuation of something here. So maybe something does come in eventually for you and it allows you to carry on. It allows you to continue. But I'm seeing a break in something here for you guys during January through to March. And finally the release of something with that Four of Cups. I feel like it's something that you might have waited a very long time for. So much so that you don't even recognise it in that Four of Cups. But it's definitely something that leads to a transformation for you guys coming through. I'm just looking to see if there's anything else. I definitely feel you're setting off on a new journey through the release of this cash potentially. Or through the release of a new job coming in. There's a new job I'm sensing here with this reading. I'm also sensing a new lease of life because this guy here holds a globe in his hand. So it's almost like there's a new lease of life there for you guys happening. There's some travel, I'm pretty sure, within that Two of Wands. Because it is the exploration card, it is the travel card. Wands are often about travel. Something that didn't allow you to move ahead is now allowing you to move ahead between January and March. So that's what I'm feeling for your first set of cards, Libra. Okay, not a bad reading at all. There's a little bit of worry there, a little bit of a waiting time, but it will happen. Okay, things will come through within those 3 months. Let's have a look at your next set of 6 cards. Universe Spirit, show me what your advice card is, please, for the zodiac sign of Libra between April and June 2016. Show me the advice card for Libra. What advice do you have for the Librans? Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Show me Libra, 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 Sun, Moon and Rising signs. April through to June 2016. Show me Libra. Show me Libra. Show me Libra. Advice. What advice do you have for the Librans? Sun, Moon and Rising signs. From April through to June 2016. Show me. Okay. Let's have a look. You know, I'm sensing between those months, Libra, that you're really kind of, should I, shouldn't I, between those months. It's really weird how the juxtaposition of these cards is so different. They're opposites. Each of these 2 cards is showing just opposite forces, opposite emotions. It really is. It's the strangest thing that I'm looking at. And I feel that that's why we've got the Hanged Man as your overall advice card for those 3 months. But I feel there's almost something that's keeping you stuck in suspense. There's something that you're not letting go of here, and you need to let go. You need to let go and trust between April and June 2016. We have Judgment in reverse. When it's upright, it's liberation, it's freedom, it's release. Okay, these people have been released from a state, from a time of sleep. Okay, where nothing was happening. There was a lot of inactivity there. And all of a sudden, there is now activity. The angel of the Lord blows his trumpet and they all rise up. So this card in the upright, for me, signals liberation, second chances, freedom, karma, being called to action. When it's in the reverse, like this, I just feel it's like a really topsy-turvy energy happening with you guys here. I feel almost like you won't let something happen, or you won't let something take its natural course. That's what I'm feeling here with this card. I sense no release. I sense that you're too afraid to let go of something here. Or you're not listening to something, or you're not listening to it's almost like you're not hearing something correctly with that Judgment card in reverse. Okay? It's almost like these people are falling into the sky rather than putting their hands up to the sky. We have the Empress card next door to it. This is a card of fertility. It's a card of growth. It's definitely a card of expansion. It's a card of setting the wheels in motion. Okay? But it's almost like you're afraid to set the wheels in motion for something here. Okay? It's almost... I'm just getting the feeling that you're afraid to let go of something here, Libra, between April and June. Okay, I'm almost feeling that you're afraid to kind of let go, or to move in the direction that you should be moving in. I feel that you're stuck in fear for some reason here, because when the Empress is present in a reading, it's about stepping into abundance. It's about watching the crops harvest. It's about all of your hard work leading to a moment of success and gain. Okay? Not everything is manifested with that Empress, though, because she's still pregnant. So she's pregnant with ideas. It's more, I feel the Empress is more a card of when you're actually taking action on bringing things out into the open. But the Empress still needs help, because she's still got to deliver that baby. So she's still got to deliver something. And I really do feel that it's almost like you're overthinking something in those 3 months, with that Judgment card in reverse and the Empress. Okay, it's almost like you won't let somebody help you with something, or you won't allow something to grow, or something to take its natural course. It's almost like you're having to have control over something here. Between between April and June. There is no release with this Judgment in reverse. When we read reversals, I'm not the hottest person on reversals, by the way, because I don't really like reading them. But when we read reversals, they're usually the opposite of what is upright. So I feel that you're afraid to make the wrong decision on something here with this Judgment. Because Judgment is often the card of making a decision, making a final judgment on something. Okay? And I almost feel like I'm almost sensing like you feel stopped from making that decision, or you can't make a decision on something. It's like you're trying to bring something to fruition, but you're afraid to make the next steps with it. You're afraid to kind of bring something out into the open. And this is really kind of reflected in the Fool and the King of Swords. Again, the King of Swords is the thinking card. Okay, this is someone who only thinks in terms of logic and reason, facts, figures, to make his decisions. That's why he's classed sometimes as being a rather cold character within the tarot, because he has a heart, obviously, but he'd rather predominantly go with his head. And I feel that you've got a head or a heart decision to make, because we've got this Fool card sitting next. I had this in a reading ages ago, come up together as a combination, these two cards. And the way that I look at those two cards is that the Fool follows his bliss, but the King of Swords just follows what he sees. Okay? So the King of Swords is far more of a stationary character, because he needs to look at stuff in terms of what he sees, in terms of facts, figures, what is presented before him. That's why often with the King of Swords you'll see him working within the judicial system. And within the judicial system, as we all know, a lawyer presents facts. That's what lawyers and people within the justice system work by. They have no time for kind of going with their hunches or with intuition. They only ever go with solid facts. That's how they work as people. But with the Fool, he doesn't go with solid facts. He just follows his bliss. So he just really follows his heart. That's what the Fool does. He follows his heart. And I feel that this is why the Hanged Man has come up for you guys between April and June. Because I feel that you're too afraid to follow your heart, to follow your passions. You're too afraid to make a decision on something here. You want to move forward, but your head is telling you not to move forward. And I see that again in the Chariot. You're wanting to move forward, guys. But for some reason, we have you again as the Eight of Swords. And you are the Swords. You're the King of Swords, which often represents a Libra person anyway. And you're the Eight of Swords. Okay. So whatever this is, with Judgment in reverse, the King of Swords, and the Eight of Swords, I really feel with those three cards, it's almost like it's saying you're afraid to make a decision on something. You feel kind of mentally trapped, or there's a fearful aspect to those three cards for me. But if you followed your bliss, we would see that the Empress, and it's funny because we have with the Judgment card in reverse, the King of Swords, and also that Eight of Swords. It's all blue behind it. There's all blue colours. There's very cool colours behind those cards. Yet we see happiness with the Empress, the Fool, and the Chariot, which shows that your creativity and following your bliss and following your hunches is going to push you in the right direction with the Chariot. So I feel with the Hanged Man as the advice card, it's saying you need to look at something from a different perspective. The King of Swords doesn't look at stuff from a different perspective. He only looks at things in terms of black and white a lot of the time, I find. Libra, okay? So I think that during those months, you're going to be looking at a situation in terms of black and white. In terms of 2 and 2 makes 4, 10 and 10 makes 20. But the Hanged Man is saying you kind of need to, you're feeling stuck and you're feeling uncomfortable because you only see the limitation of a situation here. But you wouldn't feel so limited if you looked at stuff like the Hanged Man does from a different perspective, which is what the Fool does. The Fool looks at things from a different perspective. He doesn't look at anything from a perspective at all, which is entirely a different perspective. He just goes for something. Some people would say that the Fool is the Fool. When I look at that card, it's stepping into a new dimension. It's stepping into a new awakening. It's stepping into a new beginning. It's excitement. It's abandonment. It's abandoning every single kind of thing that you have been taught or that people say to you in order to follow your own bliss. Because that's what babies do. Babies don't recognise what others are saying to them. They only pick up on vibes. But the Fool is a baby, and sometimes babies make the wrong decision, like crawling over to the fire and putting their hand in the coal, because they don't know any better. They just want to experience. But sometimes you have to experience stuff to learn from it. And the inactivity of the Judgment card in reverse. The King of Swords sits and waits and observes. And the Eight of Swords is the fear card, being afraid to step out of a comfort zone or being afraid to take a leap of faith. This lady doesn't take a leap of faith on the Eight of Swords, but the Fool takes a leap of faith. So I feel that within these 3 months, Libra, you need to take a leap of faith in something. You need to look at something from a different perspective. Instead of feeling that there is a limiting situation going on here, with the Judgment card, the King of Swords and the Eight of Swords, why not be the Empress, the Fool and the Chariot? Because it's these 3 cards, the Empress, the Fool and the Chariot, that's actually going to move you forward. I feel there's a situation that's going to come in that's going to have you in a little bit of a conundrum. And I say a conundrum because I look at the juxtaposition of these cards and how each of these cards references holding back to being free. I feel the Judgment card in reverse references being held back or holding yourself back. The King of Swords, because he's always so very reasoned, he doesn't see or think outside of the box. And neither does this lady on the Eight of Swords. She refuses to let go of her fear that she might make the right and wrong decision and get hurt. But with the Empress card, she builds, she nurtures. She nurtures a lot of stuff. Because she wants to bring things to fruition. She wants to be the best that she can be. She has a lot of ideas going in with her, going inside of her. That baby inside of the Empress is the idea that is ready to be given birth to. But you won't allow it with the Judgment card. The Fool wants to be free. But your conventional way of thinking, Libra, keeps you like this. You want to move forward. But you feel too trapped to do so. You're too scared of moving forward. So the Hanged Man is asking you, the advice is to let go of your fear. Let go of any self-limiting beliefs and move forward during those 3 months. That's what I'm seeing for you, Libra, in those 3 months. April through to June. Anything that makes you feel fearful, if you know there's a chance to make it work, go with it. Don't let fear hold you back. Let's have a look what's coming up for you between July through to September. Universe, Spirit, show me what's coming up for Libra between July through to September 2016. Show me the advice. What advice do you have for Libra? Sun, Moon and Rising Signs. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising Signs. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising Signs. Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising Signs. What advice do you have for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising Signs between July and September 2016? What advice do you have for Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising Signs between July and September 2016? Show me. Let's have a look what's coming up for you. There we go, that Fool has come up as your general advice. So I'm going to start with the general advice first. I feel that it works in 2 ways. All right. I feel with the Fool as the advice card, it could either be that you make a mistake. All right. That Fool is setting off into the unknown without thinking about something, or it's setting off into the unknown because you're brave and you're courageous enough just to go with the flow, just to take a risk, just to take a leap of faith with something, okay? And it's an interesting set of cards, Libra, that you've got here between July and September, because I feel that for some of you guys, you might take a relationship that comes in very seriously, but it might not be the relationship that's good for you, okay? I'm going to start off just sort of haphazard here, because I'm not going to go with the top card, then the middle, then the end, okay? I feel, Libra, that for a lot of you single people, there might be a one-night stand that's involved here. We have the Magician in reverse. It does reference somebody who's quite a trickster, who's not honest, who's trying to pull the wool over your eyes. We've also got the Star card, a naked lady there. All right. So I feel that you might meet someone who is very highly sexed, but who might try and take advantage during those months. I've got to be honest. That's what I'm seeing here. I feel that I'm just feeling that there's somebody that you might meet who might try and pull the wool over your eyes. And I feel that it could lead to feeling a sense of sadness around this situation, because we've got the Ace of Wands in reverse, which represents a lack of inspiration, lack of motivation. When it's upright, it's exciting. There's a lot of excitement around that card. It's passion. It's the start of something new, the start of something exciting, the start of something quite passionate. It's also a very sexual card, okay? So it references, it's a phallic symbol, okay? It represents very strong male energy. When it's in the reverse, not so much. I feel there is a lackluster feeling to the Ace of Wands. And I don't know whether it's coming from you guys, okay? So I feel that you need to be careful around a situation, around someone that might want to pull the wool over your eyes. They might want to take advantage of the situation here, when I look at the cards that way. Especially with that Magician in reverse, just down below that Star card. Alright, I'm sensing something to do with sex, maybe. I know everybody has sex probably every single day for a lot of people. Not every single day, but probably, you know, everybody has sex at some point in the week around the world, okay? So that's not what I'm saying here. What I'm saying here is I feel that this will be a situation that probably really affects you guys, or some of you guys. Because I feel that you might have invested something in this person, all right? But I wouldn't be too trusting of this individual. I feel if you have a hunch about that person, I would be careful around them, because they are showing up as the Magician in reverse. All right. But I feel that you might already have a hunch about them, because we have got the Ace of Wands in reverse as well, which shows a lack of inspiration around someone, or a lack of kind of there isn't a will to drive ahead with something with that card in the reverse. All right, so I feel that you need to kind of just be careful around that Magician in reverse, because it does always pretty much infer a con man. All right, I'm not getting negative, but I do see a con man here with that Magician in reverse. And also with the naked lady showing on the Star, this is somebody who could simply want you for maybe a one-night stand, or somebody who might make you a promise but doesn't come through with it, with that Magician in reverse there, I feel. I feel that you're going to walk away from the situation anyway, because we do have that Eight of Wands. Some of you are walking away from a situation that isn't fulfilling for you. And I feel with the Ace of Wands in reverse, that shows the situation is not fulfilling to you. I feel there's going to be a lot of abundance for you guys in those 3 months, though, because we do have the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, sitting alongside that Star card. So there's a lot of positivity around your work in those 3 months. Okay. Also, we have this Eight of Cups. When I look at the direction of it, it walks towards the King of Wands. So if you can look at these two cards together, Libra, I'm seeing some very positive vibes around your work. Okay, so the King of Wands can often refer to somebody who's quite entrepreneurial. So I feel that it's almost like you're walking into you're walking to higher ground in terms of your career with that King of Wands card. I feel that this will lead to great abundance with that Nine of Pentacles sitting underneath it, along with the Star card. But I do also sense in terms of probably love or passion, it could be just a holiday fling or something, but I do sense also that for some of you guys, you might be walking towards Leo, Aries or Sagittarius, male or female, with that King of Wands. But what I know of the King of Wands and what I've observed of that King of Wands, a lot of the time, this person is kind of like a bit of a playboy. Whenever I've seen that King of Wands, a lot of time in reading, he's meant to be a really confident, committed, this, that and the other type of individual, but I would see more of the King of Pentacles or the King of Cups as being that, or even the King of Swords. The King of Wands, I feel, is more of your playboy type of person, because he is associated with fire, passion, and he is a highly sexualized individual who travels a lot and has a lot of women. And I feel this might be you guys as being the woman, the notch on his belt, potentially. Okay? But I feel if I were to read this as a progression, that this Magician is that King of Wands in terms of love. Alright? And it could be that the Ace of Wands is giving this person a thumbs down. Okay? Saying not to go for it, because it's not a good idea. I feel this person might be a little bit flighty. I don't sense honesty in terms of a love situation with that King of Wands. I feel that he may make you promises with that Star card, but I don't think that you should go for it, because we have that Magician in reverse. And the universe, it looks like they're giving him a thumbs down potentially with the Ace of Wands. Or you might even know for yourself that this person isn't what they appear to be, or what they're trying to make themselves out to be, because the Ace of Wands signifies a lack of movement or a lack of inspiration towards this person, the Magician. Even though you might walk towards him, I feel that you will be very tentative with that. And the Fool card is showing as your advice. It tells you, as advice, it can either be telling you that you need to take a risk on something, but I feel more looking at those cards, it's telling you to be aware or to be wary of the risks that you take between, in terms of if it's a love situation, in terms of July through to September, and sometimes even if it's a work situation or something to do with money, or somebody makes you a proposal of something in terms of, you know, join this scheme or take this job up or whatever, or look at this particular opportunity, I still feel that the universe is saying look deeper into the detail of it. The Fool doesn't look deeper into detail. And remember, when I do these readings, I have to look at them, especially with the advice card, pertaining to what these cards on my left are saying to me. And a very prominent card is showing up here. It's the Major Arcana card of the Magician in reverse, which is not a particularly good card to get when it's in the reverse at all. In a way, I wish the Magician and the Ace of Wands were upright, but they're not. They're not. Which suggests to me whether, in a way, even if it is a work situation, or even if it is a business venture, you might be walking towards a business venture with that King of Wands proposed by someone. But I still don't feel it would be a good idea because of that card in reverse. And because the universe looks like it's giving it a thumbs down with that Ace of Wands. So I feel with the Fool card as the advice card, it's telling you to watch where you go, okay? Look at the finer details of stuff, because this Fool is not looking at the finer details. He's only looking, he sees the sky as being the limit, which is fine. But if you've got warning signs here, the dog at the back could be saying go for it, or it could be saying look before you leap. And I feel in this case it's telling you, Libra, to look before you leap with someone that comes into your life during July to September 2016. Okay, so that's what I'm seeing for that. Can have a look at your final 6 cards. Universe Spirit, give me the energies, please, for Libra between October and December 2016. Give me the energies, please, for Libra between October and December 2016. I need the general advice, all the overall energies between October and December 2016. That's Libra, Sun, Moon and Rising signs. Give me the advice, please. What advice can you give to the Librans? What advice can you give to the Librans, please? Between October and December 2016, show me. We've got the star card showing as your general advice, which is, for me, says that you're being guided by the universe. It also says that you're going to be in a very, it looks like a prominent position here, because the star card can mean that you're in the spotlight over something, or that you are the star, or that you are put on a pedestal, or you're the getting a lot of attention over something here. The star would usually be associated with the zodiac sign of Aquarius, but I feel that you are going to be in the spotlight, or there's something that's happening here where you are being guided by the universe. You might be receiving some very strong dreams at that time, or I just get the feeling that you're receiving some kind of guidance during October to December 2016 with that star card. It is a card of positivity, of hope, putting your faith into something here. But I just get a sense of a lot of universal support for you with that star card as the advice card. The first 2 cards, it's interesting, Libra. And last year when I did a reading for Libra, somebody was like saying, oh, this reading's not great and I'm not going to have another bad year. And it's not a bad year for you. But, you know, the tarot is nuanced. It's like life, you know. Life isn't all hearts and flowers. And I wouldn't be doing my job as a tarot reader if I said to you, or every sign of the zodiac, that everything's going to be amazing all year, because that's not life. You know, I get a lot of people when I do general readings saying, oh, your reading was this or your reading was that. You know, why is it? Somebody said about Capricorn, you know, we never have a good reading for Capricorn, like it's my fault. And it's like, well, you know what? Create your own life and create your own shit. If you don't like the reading, then go out and create your life, because you can't live your life by a card. The tarot is a very strong tool, and it's very accurate a lot of the time. But it only ever works if you carry on the same path as you've been going, which means that you would be living your life by a card. If you don't change the outcome of something, if I say something in a reading and you've done nothing, and you feel that it might be something that might happen to you or might happen around you, you have the power in your hands to change things. It's not set in stone. Even if you've got a fixed spread, it's not set in stone. It's all about you and how you direct your free will. Okay? So these are the energies that are coming up, I feel, from my point of view, for 2016. But nothing is ever set in stone. Okay? I've had readings where somebody has said something and it didn't happen, okay? These are general readings, sorry, on YouTube. But the energies of them have been around me. But it didn't actually materialise, you know? So you've got to be very careful when you're watching and listening to tarot readings, Libra, because a lot of the time these things can manifest, definitely. And a lot of the time they don't. It just depends, but the energies can still be there. They can still be near that point of manifestation. But for some reason the universe steps in, or you step in, or whatever, and it doesn't completely come to a head. So you've got to be very careful how you feel that a tarot reading guides your life. I would never look at a tarot reading if I have a personal one and say that completely guides my life. Somebody might say to me, I'm going to meet someone tomorrow. I could meet that man, but then he could be an absolute hog. And I could decide not to bother with him. Just depends. You've just got to be intelligent when you're looking at tarots. You really have to be really intelligent with them because they're very powerful tool. A lot of it is very, very accurate. I've had a lot of accurate readings myself, okay? But you know, you are in the driving seat of your life. The first card that we have is the Five of Swords. It does infer some form of conflict, some form of fighting, but you're going to get through it. This could be you guys here as well. It is you guys because it's swords, it's Libra. So you're involved in something here. This can either be feeling like the victor or feeling defeated, but it's a very futile card because it's an empty victory. You win something, but it's not anything of real significance. Okay, it's often to do with words, to do with actions. Somebody loses, somebody wins. But I feel that there will be a severance of this. I feel that if there is any type of conflict that happens for you guys between October and December, it's something that's short-lived because we have the Ace of Swords here, the breakthrough card, the victory after a challenge. So this is the victory after that Five of Swords. You're going to come through whatever little altercation this is because you've got victory on your side with the Ace of Swords. You're cutting away the debris. I also see you guys chasing success, or you're chasing movement. For some reason you're chasing someone. So it could be that you overcome or you chase someone out of town. I definitely see that you're winning something. You're winning a fight, you're winning a battle. You're definitely doing that at the end of 2016 because here you are, guys, as the Knight of Swords. This is you because you're Libra. But if you look at how these cards work, this is somebody who's chasing someone else. They're chasing them out of town. They're getting rid of a negative energy, I feel here. This can also be, I feel, a card of, when we look at the Knight of Swords, sometimes it's, where do you associate your energies? Are you more negative or are you more positive? So it looks here that you're using your head over a situation rather than your passion. Or it could be that you're driving your passions through. You're driving movement through, okay? You're pushing for change, I feel. But I really feel that you're driving someone away here. Someone who's not needed in your life at the end of 2016. And we see that with, I feel that this is you guys who are the victor with the less Five of Swords. And within the Ace of Swords, what we see is the victor finally is able to hold that sword aloft and say, I did it. And we can see that you're chasing someone out of town. Knight of Swords is chasing the Knight of Wands. Chasing them away. So you're winning something. You're winning an argument or an altercation or a conflict. You come out on top. What's interesting is, though, that we have the High Priestess in reverse. High Priestess in reverse can sometimes mean not paying attention to your intuition. The Six of Cups here as well. It's a past card. It's a card about the past, people in our past, but it can also be a card of somebody who's trying to seduce you. So I feel these cards are saying that you need to be aware of someone who is not being honest, potentially. Because I've seen the Six of Cups cards show up when somebody's literally trying to seduce someone with flowers, or they're trying to seduce someone with something that's quite enticing. And you might go for something that is not, that you haven't really kind of investigated, or your heart's told you one thing, but your head's told you another. And you've probably gone with your heart when you should have gone with your head. You should have gone with what you thought, or what you felt intuitively drawn to in the first place. You're not using your intuition with that High Priestess in reverse, Libra. And the cards are saying that you have to. So just be aware of that at the end of the year, I feel, with that Six of Cups. What I'm being drawn to is somebody who's trying to seduce someone, or trying to take advantage. And it's telling you not to allow that. And perhaps that's where we see the Ace of Swords come through, the truth in the matter. If I put up the High Priestess towards the Ace of Swords, what I'm looking at is a breakthrough. In terms of, it's almost like you come out of some kind of lack of clarity, or or fogginess during those 3 months. It's almost like somebody tried to take the piss maybe with you, and you've driven them out of town. You suddenly come to your senses on something. I see you coming to your senses on something. And I feel that this is through divine guidance. You're feeling guided to do that. Could be a home move coming in for some of you guys as well. As a standalone card with that Knight of Wands. But pay attention to your intuition, I would say, during those 3 months. I'm going to quickly draw an angel card for you because time is running out. Angels, what advice do you have for Libra during 2016? What advice do you have? Show me your advice card for Libra, please. What advice do you have for Libra in 2016? What advice do you have for Libra in 2016? Yeah, plans that need revision, more going on that meets the eye. Okay? So it's telling you to be aware of stuff here, okay? You need to revise certain things, and I feel the High Priestess in the downright position is saying that you need to use your intuition. Alright? Use your intuition in those last months. In fact, use your intuition all year round. That's why we've been having those cards that have been coming up that are saying, look before you leap. Or maybe that's why you've been doing so much thinking around certain aspects in your life in 2016. That's your reading, Libra. Thanks for joining me on Carol's Universe, and I'll speak to you really soon. Take care.